Welcome back, travelers of the entertainment world and guardians of love stories, to a new global edition of Secrets Behind the Stars. Tonight our passport stamps come in twos, because we are flying between the shimmering lights of Saudi Arabia and the thunder of fashion footsteps in Italy. If you have ever wondered how love survives the tug-of-war between distance and overwhelming success, you are in exactly the right place. We are here to unravel the so-called crisis that never was and to celebrate the international triumph of a couple who know how to turn separate spotlights into one glowing horizon. Before we take off, remember that your support fuels this journey. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an international exclusive, tap that like with style, and ring the bell so every new premiere lands right in your hands. And for those ready to board first class with us, the join button is lit with exclusive perks. Come on, fasten your seatbelts, this is an intercontinental love flight. In an evening where Middle Eastern luxury embraced Turkey's most dazzling talent, Elçin Sangu appeared as if conjured by moonlight, a whisper of silk and confidence crossing the carpet at a magnificent ceremony in Riyadh. Cameras leaned toward her like flowers to the sun, the elite circled with measured curiosity. And yet a single detail cut through the music and perfume, sparking that familiar hum in the VIP corners. She stepped into the flash storm alone. No strong arm tucked around her waist, no laughter from just over her shoulder. The absence of Baris Arduç next to the flame-haired star drifted through the room like a secret everyone tried to guess before dessert. Why is she alone? Asked the posts that multiplied by the minute, each snapshot of her luminous smile feeding fire to 1,000 comments. Elcin, perfectly aware of the importance of the night, one of the most prestigious gatherings in the Gulf, chose a look that fit her like a promise, paired with makeup that played with the lights without ever letting them win, and a serenity that spoke louder than any headline. She greeted, she posed, she glided, offering the photographers that professional warmth she is known for. When whispered questions about his whereabouts sailed close, she let them drift past like paper boats on a calm river. No grand declarations. No pointed answers. Only the poise of a woman who understands the moment and keeps her focus on the task in front of her. Backstage, the rumor mill kicked into its traditional rhythm. But those who know the pulse of the industry heard a different beat. The murmurs did not sound like heartbreak, they sounded like calendars. They sounded like two careers running at full speed on parallel runways. They sounded like the price of being hotly in demand in every corner of the map. And then, almost on cue, another door opened and the truth stepped out wearing tailored Italian tailoring and a devil-may-care grin. While Elcin was conquering Riyadh under desert stars, Baris was marching into the epicenter of European fashion, Milan. Invited as a special guest to the very heartbeat of Fashion Week, he arrived with an itinerary stacked high, front-row moments, private rooms where future collaborations are whispered over espresso, and late-night salons that spark headlines the next morning. The impossibility of being in two places at once was suddenly no longer a mystery but a simple fact. The streets of Milan, ancient and alive, became his catwalk, and as paparazzi shots streamed onto social feeds, the divide and conquer narrative replaced the poisoned word separation with something truer, momentum. Pictures of Baris, casually magnetic against carved stone and racing scooters, flooded timelines and promptly smothered the theory that silence meant trouble. Sources close to the duo, people who know when to speak and when to smile, say both commitments were set months ago, woven into schedules that leave little room for negotiation and none for drama. Elcin's invitation to Riyadh and Baris's unmissable Milan appointment did not collide by chance, they aligned by design, like two stars that glow independently and still chart the same sky. And yet, distance never stood a chance against the one thing that refuses to be scheduled, the soft insistence of connection. We are told that between fittings and rehearsals, between last looks and last calls, their phones lit up with video chats that bridged the dust and the cobblestones. He sent her the rush of the runway as she fastened her bracelet for the red carpet. She promised to save him a story about the moment the crowd first saw her dress. In those flickering windows, their laughter traveled farther than any flight, and their encouragements became the quiet soundtrack to two separate victories. Impressive, isn't it, Secrets Behind the Stars family? We sometimes forget that behind the glamour is 1,000 tiny sacrifices, and the time spent apart is the tax the universe charges for chasing big dreams. Tell us, what would you rather watch tonight, Elcin conquering the Arab world or Baris ruling European fashion? Or are you holding out for that glorious shot of them side by side back home in Istanbul? Leave your global thoughts in the comments, and if you value the truth that cuts through the fog, support the channel by tapping that join button. Your love lets us chase the stars across continents. Now, listen closely to what our most trusted insiders shared. Moments before Elcin stepped into the glare of Riyadh's cameras, her phone lit with a private cascade of words from Baris, notes of love, focus, and that wry humor only he can deliver. Minutes after the applause, another message appeared. Pride, pure and simple, wrapped up in a promise to celebrate properly when schedules finally kiss. Their inner circle insists their bond is not just intact, but tempered like steel, shaped by every good challenge. Geography may have stretched the map, but it never stretched their hearts. When the microphones found Elcin after the ceremony and asked about the magnitude of the evening, she offered gratitude that glowed, calling the experience invaluable and thanking everyone whose words lifted her across the night. And when the inevitable question came about Baris's Italian excursion, her smile answered better than any script ever could. It was the kind of smile that says harmony without declaring it, that says we're good without spelling it out. And once the clips hit social media, you didn't need to be a fan to read the message between the lines. The most optimistic whispers suggest a reunion by the time the last Milan flashbulb cools. The plan, as we hear it, sketches an ending that feels like a beginning, Baris returning to Istanbul after his fashion sprint, and Elcin carving a short but sacred pause from an intense filming calendar. If you listen very carefully, you can already hear the countdown in the timeline comments. Fans clicking refresh, hoping to catch that first photo where two stories rejoin into one frame. The hunger is real, and it is sweet, because it carries the certainty that what's coming is worth the wait. So let's be clear, those private images from Riyadh were not the last page of a romance, but another chapter in a success story written on two continents. While one dazzled beneath desert constellations, the other set the rhythm of style on streets that remember emperors. The question that haunted the corners of the gossip world didn't just find an answer, it found a lesson. This is what it looks like to be visible beyond borders, to stand so tall that the world sets a table for you in different cities on the same evening. In recent years, Elcin Sangu and Baris Arduç have traded local spotlight for a global stage, and that trade comes with new rules. Being what they are means sometimes appearing in different time zones, smiling into different cameras, holding different bouquets. But according to those quiet voices behind the curtains, the effect is not pressure but pride. They admire one another in a way that grows every time they win apart and then come together, like dancers who know that the solo only heightens the duet. Saudi media, quick-eyed and generous in its praise, crowned Elcin an international fashion force, noting how her carriage and color sense reshaped the room she entered. In Milan, meanwhile, the talk was all Baris's presence, how he tilted towards simplicity without ever losing that disruptive charisma that makes editors sit up straighter. Social media became a bridge across the map, with comments flowing both ways. I wish he could see her shine, I wish she could catch his stride. And there, too, between official posts and dashed-off stories, their public exchanges winked. A heart here, a word there, modern love measured in notifications but rooted in something older and stronger. Let's also notice what didn't happen. The most aggressive headlines: caught alone, is there a crisis, lost altitude fast. This couple has been together long enough, and been careful enough, to understand the power of staying quiet and letting truth walk in under its own name. They did not rush to explain. They did not feed a rumor that would die just fine without their help. Instead they worked, and the work spoke. It always does when it's good. From those who know them best comes the sense that they have made peace with this cycle. Stories will rise and fall like tides, they will not waste their days trying to hold back the moon. They pour their energy into the craft that brought them here and into the private life that keeps them whole. And when the day's rehearsals close and the last fittings end, they step back into a shared world where nothing is measured in clicks. What waits in the days ahead? If the chatter proves right, a small escape, carefully guarded, because precious things prefer the shade. After Milan, Baris is said to be carving out a pocket of time that belongs to no one but them. A corner of the calendar neither press nor public can touch. Perhaps it will be in Istanbul, where the Bosphorus holds secrets so well, or perhaps somewhere farther, where their steps sound like a language only they speak. Either way, the expectation in the fandom is already fizzing, and we can almost see the pictures now, heads leaning together, laughter caught mid-flight, that look that says the room has disappeared. If you are listening and smiling, you already know the truth. This isn't two people drifting. This is two arcs rising. Elcin shining in Riyadh and Baris staking a claim in Milan are not separate narratives. They are scenes from the same film, a hit that knows when to cut between locations to keep the pulse up. They may wake in different postal codes and sign different guest books, but backstage the story is one, intense, harmonious, and as global as the cities that host them. This, dear friends, is what it looks like when love grows with the spotlight instead of shrinking from it. And so we close this international report from Secrets Behind the Stars with the warmth of a promise. Tell us everything. What did you think of Elcin's look in Riyadh, the color, the silhouette, the way she wore the night like a jewel? And how about Baris's Italian run, a lesson in effortless edge, a reminder that style starts inside the person and only then touches the fabric? Drop your love and your fashion takes in the comments. Don't forget to press like, subscribe to become part of our traveling family, and share this video with every Elbar fan who needs a smile today. And remember, if you'd like to support this channel in a special way, the join button is waiting like a VIP pass. Until next time, may your stories cross oceans and may your love know no borders.